What's up, everybody? This is Fred Richani of TSC. We have right here via Zoom a very special guest. He is a former UFC middleweight champion of the world, hoping to be the new UFC middleweight champion of the world at UFC 271 when he takes on Israel Adesanya in a highly anticipated rematch live on pay-per-view. We're talking to the great Bobby Knuckles himself, AKA Robert Whittaker. Robert, thank you so much for joining us, especially with that awesome Fallout chair you got there. How's everything going?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Thanks for having me. I know the time difference is pretty crazy, but it's good to be here.
Happy to have you on. Now, let's get some of these generic questions out of the way. They're on the fans' minds. Of course, the rematch is finally official. There were some rumors that maybe it wasn't officially signed. Sometimes they put the cart before the horse. Now that it's official, how do you feel getting back to this point after winning 3 straight fights and surviving this crazy pandemic?
Yeah, no, it was crazy. So, I knew the fight was coming shortly after last fight. And with all the attention that was brought with, like, is it happening, is it not? I think that was just more for the fans and, for the public, for the media to to get them talking about something. But no, it's good. Moving forward, it was never like I just wanted to get back into the fighting scene. I just wanted to fight and come to terms with my new way of doing things, because I changed a lot of things up after I lost the belt. Changed a lot of things up with the way I train and especially how I conduct myself outside of the octagon. I wanted to change things as a person, I guess. And so I was kind of just finding my feet in those fights. And the pandemic was crazy. The way things changed around, I was blessed to be able to still fight and still be able to put on a show for people. So and it was a good way to find my feet, almost like it was a little slower, to be able to find my feet and to get that done. So to be where I'm at now, to have earned the right to have for the rematch and to, for getting this chance to, find some satisfaction in this fight, go into this fight, new, improved, self-improved. And, I'm going to leave this fight satisfied with whatever outcome that happens.
That's awesome. Now, I'm not asking you to give us your game plan or anything like that, but I would imagine with the adversity that you dealt with personally, professionally, and everything else, winning these 3 straight fights, going the distance in all of them, by the way, as well. Is there one thing you could tell us that you really learned about yourself that you're taking into the octagon with you?
Yeah, I guess so. After I lost the belt, I went on a bit of a soul searching thing, and went and found out, like, really, really come to terms with why I fight, how I want to fight, how I want to train, why I want to train, how I want to do things. So, working through my whys and hows and what's, like, it made things clearer for me, made things easier. It made it easier to go to the sessions and made it easier to get into the fights, to try new things. So to be able to go into this next fight, new, improved, self-improved, and to have a real good grip on that. I'm looking forward to it.
We are definitely looking forward to that fight. UFC 271, February 12th, Toyota Center, H-Town, Houston, Texas, and live on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. But in between all that, right, you also had a pandemic, and you're in a country that has some of the strictest lockdowns out there. Now, obviously, you want to keep people safe, everything else, but the reality is you're also a professional fighter, and it's complete full contact. So what were some of the challenges that you faced over these last couple of years to get back to this point?
Yeah, no, it was crazy. I was juggling just much like everybody else was. It's one of those things that, like, with the pandemic that came in and the lockdowns that were enforced and the gyms shutting down, that was something we had to work through. And everybody else was in the same boat. Everyone kind of had to work through it and find a way to make it work. And we did. We found a way to isolate ourselves and to find isolated locations and to control that way and get partners that were happy to just isolate with us. And, we made it work. And whilst it wasn't optimal, nobody wants to do that. Everybody's going through the same thing. Everybody had to find a way to adapt to this new way of living, because I think it's going to be with us for a while now. I think this is something we're going to be dealing with, for the foreseeable future. So you can see everyone's kind of adapted and got used to it, and we're all in the same boat together.
Sometimes with certain fighters, they get a rematch right away. Maybe they get a rematch after a win or two. You had to wait a couple of years. Looking back at that, are you grateful for that? Do you feel like you're a lot sharper now than you would have been if you just ran it back?
Yeah, definitely. And I wanted that. I wanted to get back into fighting. I wanted to find my feet. I wanted to find myself. I wanted to find myself in the fighting. And it was necessary, especially because straight after that loss with Izzy the first time, I went on a break. I went on a hiatus. I stepped to the left of fighting, and that was so pivotal for me in my career that an instant rematch wasn't even something I was thinking about at the time.
So do you feel like a lot of fans and maybe some observers as well don't realize that while being physically in shape is great, mentally it's just as important, if not more?
Being mentally in shape is way more important than physical. They're both important, but you can't fight without the headspace to fight. It's not at this level anyway. It's so important to be healthy, mentally.
And you've been fighting for quite a while. I don't think people realize this. You're only 31 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And you've been fighting since 2009. So I mean, that's a whole lot of time. You're definitely a young veteran, to say the least. Obviously, a former world champion. How's your body feeling these days? How do you take care of yourself?
Yeah, so recovery is a big thing. It's I try to make sure I get my 8 hours sleep every night. It's hard sometimes with as many kids as I have, but I try to eat well. I try to make sure I get my sleep in. I stretch a lot. They're my main sources of recovery. I get a massage once a week to try and get through some knots. But otherwise, it's just that. It's more about how you train. I have light days and strong days and hard days, and just manage it.
What drew you into MMA in your adult life?
I've done martial arts my entire life. So like I did karate and then went from karate to XXXX. So I went through that chain of events, and I guess it was like I enjoyed combat sports. I enjoyed martial arts. I enjoyed fighting, and I'm very competitive. So when I was going through my martial arts, journey, I was competing in it, and honestly, just one thing led to another, and I ended up fighting, and got the first taste of it, and the rest is history. I just loved it and never looked back.
Is there like a multiverse where Robert Whittaker has a different career path?
Probably. It's hard to say. There's probably an alternate reality where Rob Whittaker is a crappy electrician instead of a top tier fighter, for sure.
Or hey, maybe a gamer, maybe a streamer, right? Full time, competing in esports, you'd still be competitive.
Yeah, well, I don't know about esports competing. Like I game plenty now. It's I don't know if I could do the whole esports thing. That seems so stressful.
Yeah, and you got to start out young. There's kids that start like at 18, like 16, 17, and they're done by 25. I'm like,
yeah, retired.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it has something to do with like how fast that Twitch reaction is in your head, and it actually does degrade. Like you can do exercises and things to keep it going for longer, but it's one of those things that you don't have a lot of control over.
Yeah, those kids are definitely built different, as the kids say. As for you, when it comes to gaming, what are you playing these days?
So I play a lot of Bethesda titles, as you can see in the chair. Play a lot of Fallouts and Skyrims, and love the Dark Souls series. So I play a lot of those and Demon Souls and things like that. And play a lot of indie games, to be honest. Like a lot of indie games on Steam. It's play a lot of everything, to be honest.
Is there a hidden gem on Steam in your Steam library that you want to shout out?
Like what sort of indie?
Yeah, like something indie that maybe we haven't like played before, so a lot of people haven't played before. They should check out.
Rogue Sale's good value. Put like 70 hours into it for like an $8 game. It's
wow.
It's pretty good. If you like rogues, like prepare to have your heart broken, but because that thing's hard, man, real hard.
Now I got to ask you. You mentioned Skyrim. I'm a huge Skyrim fan. What path did you take in Skyrim? Did you go the straight and narrow? Did you join the Thieves Guild? How'd you end up?
Oh, which playthrough, right? I generally what do? I go a wizardy, I go a magicy boy, and then honestly, I just go through the Mages Guild quest line at Winterhold, and then build my house with that DLC. I just build my house, and then end up getting a wife and putting all my decorations up, make a little life sim.
Awesome, I dig it. Now, we always like to ask all our guests some kind of random rapid fire questions in a lightning round just to get to know them better. Are you ready?
I am, but I'm terrible at these. Like, actually terrible. But let's go.
We'll see about that. All right. Favorite late night snack or cheat meal?
Anything. Mate, anything. Like there are nights I go out in the cupboards and I come back with anything that's in the cupboards. So it just depends what flavor of the month it is.
Okay. How about this? What's the most obscenely unhealthy guilty pleasure food you have? Is there something that you definitely can't eat as a professional athlete all the time, but man, like after a big fight, you're just gonna go grab it?
Oh yeah, it's just like fast food, like KFC or or Hungry Jack's, or Burger King, like that sort of stuff. Like I just love that sort of stuff. That stuff is straight heart attack food as well. Like it's terrible for you, but they're the things that a guilty pleasure after a fight for sure.
All-time favorite fighter?
Ooh, crap. Mark Hunt, maybe.
All right.
Yeah, maybe Nick Diaz.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Takeaway, time frames, age, whatever. Is there a dream opponent you have? Somebody that's like maybe a UFC legend that you would love to have fought in their prime?
No way. I've been asked this question throughout my career. This is something that's come up, and I never have an answer for them. I don't want to fight for fun, like, and if it's for money, then I'm going to pick some small guy that has no idea what he's doing, and I'll try and fight him.
What's your favorite spots in Australia and New Zealand? If I'm heading over there, pre-apocalypse, what would you recommend me check out?
Sydney for sure. Sydney's where I live, and let's be honest, it's the only reason anybody comes to Australia. So Sydney for sure. Can't speak too much on New Zealand. I haven't spent a great deal of time over there.
In Australia, there's a conception, or maybe it's a misconception, that while it is beautiful, there are a ton of things that could also kill you there. So have you had any close calls being in Australia with some of these giant spiders or boxing kangaroos or any of that nature?
Yeah, like there's been a couple of times, like you can see on my Instagram, there was a massive funnel web that was running around my house, and that was terrifying. Funnel webs will kill you. They're terrifying. They are some big nasty ass spiders. If you've ever seen a funnel web, they are thick, they are hairy. You can't step on them because they're too big. Like they are scary, funnel webs. But also, I've had a brown snake in the back that I've had to kill with a shovel. Like brown snakes, they'll kill you as well. They're no fun. But I don't know. You get used to it. It's not too bad.
So it's just part of life, right?
Well, it's not like I'm dodging them every day. It's the odd occasion, really.
Fair enough. Besides gaming, besides of course training, what are your hobbies?
I play some. I've been trying to learn the guitar, so that's a bit of fun. Other than that, really, like I read a lot, watch a lot of anime.
What anime?
I've seen too much to even start. Like, recently there's in the current season 2 of 86 has come out. That's really good. It's really good. But otherwise, I've seen too much, mate. Like,
if you could be one anime character in real life, who would you be?
One Punch Man, easy.
Easy.
Just because, like, he may not even be the strongest character across the board, but he's just so chill. I like the limitations he has. How he can't fly, but he can jump super high. Like, I don't know. I like it. I like his character.
As far as game consoles, are you somebody like me that has like all the Infinity Stones? You own every single console known to man. Is there one that you're particularly favor? What are you playing on right now?
PC. So
okay.
I'm a PC gamer. But if I had to pick a console, it'd be PS5 probably. That's the one I'm running at the moment. My sons use the Xbox though, and they love it. And I think there are a lot of quality of life things on the Xbox. There are certainly some benefits to to one or the other, but I'm liking the PS5. Demon's Souls is exclusive on it, so that's why I bought it.
And that DualSense controller is badass. I don't know how they made the DualShock even better, but it's a great controller.
Yeah, it's crazy. I accidentally keep pressing R2 all the time and attacking NPCs by accident. It's killing me.
We'll work on that. Don't worry. How do you juggle everything, man? Being a professional fighter, obviously maintaining your health at the highest level, and of course, being a family man.
Mate, that's the game. That's the hard thing, isn't it? That's the thing everybody wants, is balance. Is trying to spend too much time, trying to spend time with your kids and your work and your games and yourself, and finding that sweet balance where everything is firing off well is just that's the journey. You like, for me anyway, that is the goal of life, is trying to achieve that perfect balance, because everybody feels it when they're out of balance. If you don't spend enough time with your family, you feel it, you miss them, you feel guilty. If you don't spend enough time on the mats, you're not fit enough, you feel guilty, you worry about the next fight, worry that you're not getting better, but you're happy with the family. You got to spend time with your wife at the same time, which is, you can't really connect to either. It's, that's it. That's life. That's the hard part. That's the hardest level, isn't it?
For sure. And I would imagine it's important to have family members, to have a spouse who understand that lifestyle and understand that, hey, we can live a great life, but there is a lot of time and dedication that it takes in order to get to the top. Yeah.
Having supportive people around you is everything. I wouldn't be where I am today without my wife, Sophia, and, her understanding and help along the way, because I've been with her well before I was a fighter. So she's helped me and cultivate me to becoming this, to being able to do what I do. So, it's you need it. You need to surround yourself with good people.
So she's the real MVP.
Sure. Well, 100%, easily, hands down.
All right. And we'll get you out of here on a positive note. What's the best piece of advice you give anybody watching, listening to this for success?
For success, don't quit. Don't quit. Find out what you love doing and just pursue it, and don't give up. Just don't quit. Determination, perseverance, wins out. It may not be now, may not be in 10 years. Just, just get at it. Get at it. And then what's that saying? If you love what you're doing, you never work in a day in your life, something like that. It's like, if you're enjoying the journey, then what does it matter?
Well said. Well said. Well, we appreciate the time, Robert. We definitely have enjoyed watching your journey, especially the journey back to title contention, UFC 271, February 12th, live on pay-per-view here on ESPN Plus in the States on pay-per-view, taking on Israel Adesanya. Robert, best of luck. Actually, one more question. Is there anything you wish I asked you in this interview?
Nah, you got me covered, mate. I think it was very good.
Awesome. Well, Robert, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck February 12th and beyond.
Appreciate it, mate. Thank you very much.